Rod, how was your week, brother, man?
My week was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It was, I got a lot of activities done, ran around, did a lot of errands, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this was a really productive week for me as far as things that I had to do. And, I just had my favorite for dinner. I had Spanish burgers. So I'm ready to
what's a Spanish burger?
Oh.
Spanish
burgers in my house. There's Spanish burgers and there's black burgers.
Spanish burgers. Oh shit!
Yeah.
I got it.
The Spanish burgers are seasoned with adobo, and the black burgers are seasoned with Lowry's.
Right.
That's the difference. Yeah.
That's Spanish burgers, brother. I know about the Spanish burgers.
So we have Spanish burgers tonight, so I'm good with that.
Yo, you don't have Lowry's in a black. Lowry's in a black household is a must. It's like and Rob, remember back in the day? Remember we used to eat chicken fish?
Yeah, that's right.
Remember that? A lot of people don't know what chicken fish is, though.
They don't know. They don't know what that's. A down south thing.
Yeah, it's down south. So we used to fry the grease and put it in a cup. Maybe it used to be like a Maxwell House or a Folgers or some kind of metal container. And you put the fish grease, put chicken grease in that shit, let it cool down, and use it again.
That's what she put a cooking grease in that little chock full of nuts.
Exactly. Chock full of nuts. That's chicken grease.
That's chicken grease.
Chicken fish. That's chicken fish.
Yeah, the thing is, or you go down south, they got that witch pot. They fry the fish and the chicken in the same grease, fish grease, chicken grease, chicken fish. There you go.
It tastes delicious.
Delicious.
Cholesterol, high blood pressure may be up, but it works.
Exactly. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, "Yo, you're gonna fry that chicken in that same fish grease?" They were like,
"Yes,
watch that. This is gonna change your life," and it did.
and it changed my cholesterol rate, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Kelvin, man, what's up with your week, man? Sorry about that, Rod. What's up with
your blood looking like motor oil,
My week was very, very eventful. You know why? Because again, having to deal with the natives. That's why. And I'm gonna yes. So I had a fire in July, and right now my house is uninhabitable. So, there's some debris in the yard, but I have some things that are of value in the yard. And one of them is my Red Bull machine. The reason I didn't move it in the garage, because I'm thinking because it's about 350 pounds, nobody could possibly steal it. But I underestimated the power of Ray Ray and Pookie. And yes, I said it. Yes, because whoever I'm talking about, you know them too in your family. Yeah. And I come outside, and the whole Red Bull machine is gone. Now, you cannot move this by yourself. I've moved it a million times myself with 2 or 3 grown men and a hand truck and have to put it in a truck. I looked and the machine is gone. And what I find so interesting, the one at Walmart out in front is still there. The one in front of all the white establishments is still there. Oh, no. But my people, in the time of solidarity, going to take my machine. And yes, I'm tired of the foolishness. And I want to reiterate, I'm writing a book called My People Don't Know How to Act. For Christmas, I'm coming out with the sequel. My people still don't know how to act. So yes, that's how my week went. And yes, I'm tight about it. And yes, I have an attitude about it. And I know what people are going to say. People are going to say, how do you know it was black people that stole it? The same way you know. It's just not politically correct to say it. We'll be right back after this. That's how it is. It's all right, But and good luck to the brothers out there with my new Red Bull machine that you probably took to try to take it to some scrap yard and get about $8 for it. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
I know who took it. I know who took it. It's the same 2 guys that stole a cash machine in the barbershop.
Right.
It's the same 2 dudes.
But see, people don't understand the crackhead muscle. The crackhead, 2 things crackhead. When you smoke crack, you get superhuman strength, and you know how to work on cars.
They're like ants. They live 20 times they wait.
That's right.
You become a mechanic overnight. It's something about once the pipe hits them lip, you know how to work on all type of German cars, all type of domestic cars, and you get superhuman strength. It's better than spinach. Popeye should have smoked crack than spinach. Should have really smoked crack. He would have been a man.
A crackhead is the hood superhero.
Always.
Yeah.
Are there any new crackheads though? We gotta ask that question. I should hope not at this point.
Nah, ain't no new crackheads. The only thing you get now is they can do crackheads. Crackheads, that's the thing. They can paint. They can do all kind of wonderful shit. They can fly to Mars. Crackheads was different, better crackheads. They just had a skill set on smoking crack. I'm sorry if I offended anybody that had family members that smoked crack before, but
we all got it.
We all had a crackhead. We all got a crackhead.
You already know.
Yo, you know what the funniest thing is? When you hear another crackhead call a crackhead. Oh, that's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
I saw him take the bike out of your yard. It was a crackhead, and the guy's telling you, and he's a crackhead.
He's a crackhead.
Right. And you probably see many crackheads on the job.
Right. Dude, I seen some serious crackhead, professional crackheads. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. Today, like finding a crackhead today is like finding a unicorn in the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's you don't see them as much no more.
Nah.
But they would. Like they
got more
undercover. Yeah.
We got more functional crackheads.
You might. You're right about that.
Functional crackheads.
But what's the drug now? The drug now is really like what heroin is back. Like
heroin. Right? The kids pop pills.
That's the suburban kids, right?
All the new
vaping.
All the new asshole weed that smell like asshole. That kind of stuff. Like we smoked better weed back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's better weed. This new weed that smell like underarms. It's like it ain't the good weed. I wouldn't. It's hard.
Speaking of that, do we have any sponsors, Rodney? We have any sponsors?
Kelvin, I was hoping you wasn't going to ask me that.
His name is Kelvin.
I tried to beg that sponsor to come back. That sponsor said, no, not right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. We're going to keep it real on the show. I mean, the sponsor ran out.
Nigga said Molly. Yeah, she said they smoking Molly.
They're coming back.
Molly, new thing. Molly. So that's what,
you knew that, Cal. You knew it was a wrap for that sponsor after that.
I knew that. But I saw it online when it was confirmed, though.
Yeah, I'm working on the relationship. I'm going to therapy for the words that come out of my mouth. So I'm working on it. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm working on my mouth. But it's so funny. Like we're talking about this now, like the weed and all stuff like that. When did you guys start realizing y'all got old? Like Derek. When did you realize you started getting old?
Oh man, when I started saying things like my father, man, I started feeling like my father, looking like my father, man. You know what I mean? I think that's what I just realized. I don't know if I'm old, but I'm old. Look on this grade, man. I started dying of old. It's little things, you know what I mean? You first time you try to run ball or something with the young dudes, you find out real quick how old you are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Right? Try to run a little ball. Oh, ain't no full court at this point.
No. Ain't no half court.
Ain't no half court no more. That's right. You know what I'm saying?
It's in the paint court. You got to be in the paint. That's it.
I come off the bench.
Ain't no more slapping back balls, touching them, none of that. Ain't doing none of that, man.
I come off the bench in a one-on-one game.
How about you, Kelvin? When you started realizing you got old, man?
I'm gonna tell you when the opening credits of this ran and I saw my goatee. Cause let me tell you something. My joint is being gentrified. All of the blacks is moving out. And all of the whites is moving in. And so that's when I knew.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's good.
On it. And I was like, who was that? It was going. So that was, I recognized myself.
That was good. That was good. Rod, how about yourself, man?
Man, I got a different story, man. Yo, I knew I was getting old when I couldn't piss no more. I only tinkle now. I used to be able to pee from one side of the street to the other. Now I can barely hit my feet right now. You know what I'm saying? Kid, I'm telling you, I don't know what happened. But yo, pissing is a thing of the past for me. Now I just tinkle.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yo, there's some things that even though I still, I know I'm getting older, I still won't do it, and I won't embrace it as an old man. I'm still not tucking my shirt in.
Oh hell!
I'm not gonna put my money in my wallet anymore. Right. And I'm not wearing no socks and sandals together.
No. You wear socks and sandals together, man. You better start barbecuing wherever you're at. You in the mall, barbecue. Yeah. You got church, barbecue.
Get out the barbecue.
You got a barbecue wherever you at. You wear socks and sandals. You got a barbecue. That's it.
You need barbecue, right?
You got a barbecue on the grill. You got a barbecue on the grill.
And you better have a cigarette hanging out your mouth with an ashy bucket. You wear socks.
The worst thing to me so far, and I tell young men this, the worst thing you have to look forward to is the dreadful prostate exam. When you know, because I don't care.
Ain't gonna do it.
And I had a doctor. I had to question the doctor. I had to get rid of him because I don't care what was wrong with you. It ended up like that. I'm talking about, doc, my arm hurt. All right, you know the routine. Turn around. I'm like, oh man. I just came for a consultation.
Look, man, your real problem is you start reaching around the front. You be like, wait a minute.
Yo, I got good news.
What's that, Brian?
I got good news. They don't have to do it no more like that. You can take a blood test. You can do a blood test.
You know, thank y'all for doctors with how long it's been since I've been to the doctor. Thank you. I appreciate that. We get to talk about that.
No more doctors with big fingers. No more.
Wait, hold on. I went last year and they did that. I see what's going on.
Hey, you might got a Jeffrey Epstein type of doctor. You went last year. You put the finger in a whole new R. Kelly ass doctor. Something like
that. And why the doctors that do the prostate check always got the biggest hands? Why?
They be like 6'5", like massive hands. That's what.
They look like they got a mitt on.
That wasn't the problem. The exam is not the problem.
The exam is the problem.
Afterwards, my man, like, here, wipe yourself off, and now we're gonna talk. I don't want to talk. I don't want to see you no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna talk like nothing just happened. Like, I want to just.
Yo, listen. When I had to get the colonoscopy, and that doctor put like gel in my ass, I told him he and I are dating now. Because I woke up, my joint was. I had the wop. I had the wet ass. You know, that's how I felt like. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, man, that was the most violent thing.
Oh my God. This is why we can't get no sponsors. This is exactly.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna stop. I say I'm in rehab. No. The crazy thing, when like I have a bad hip, right? and I'm gonna tell you, and the way, and I'm old because the hip was always acting up. I had to get a shot in my hip last week. And the way I got this,
D, tell them how you hurt that hip.
Yo, this is all truth. I ain't telling no lie on this story. So it was a hot August summer. This is a long time ago. Remember, this happened a while back. So with everything I say, this was a while.
A while ago is a long time ago. Yeah.
Long time ago. So hot August night, and everybody that knows me, I like vanilla shakes. I like ice cream. So I went out. So only place is midnight at night, and I was going to see my girlfriend that my wife didn't let me have, right? So I was trying to come from work. I was going to see so I said, let me go get a shake so I'll be nice and cool when I go. So we on the phone, I'm arguing, whatever, right? And everybody's from Queens and from South Jamaica, Queens. There's a White Castle on Rockaway Boulevard. And I'm trying to turn into this White Castle. Now, next to the White Castle is this bowling alley. 360 lanes is whatever it's called. The bowling alley. And when you have to turn into it, you have to come in front of oncoming traffic. So it was a taxi cab. And anybody from New York, we got gypsy cabs. They stop at the street, dollar cabs, whatever. So the cab didn't go all the way into the driveway because it was crowded, a whole bunch of teenagers out there for a party and whatever. And he stops, and now I'm caught in oncoming traffic. The cars are coming. Now remember, this is a long time ago, right? So I'm trying to look fresh. I got my Gucci's on. I got a Bluetooth with the blue light. That's how old I am. The flashing joint, the uncle Bluetooth that hang right here on your joint. That's how flashing it is, right? So I blow the horn to the young boy. It's a young boy now. The young boy, guess he got upset with me that I blew the horn at him because he's trying to pick a passenger. I drive around because the parking lot's full. Whoever knows this parking lot's full, and I had to park on the side street and that Expedition. So I get out of my Expedition. I'm trying to walk into the White Castles. The young boy driving the cab stand. These are Dominican cab stands. So I'm gonna put the little accent in. No racism. I need these sponsors. Adobo, Goya, all of them, all of that. You know what I'm saying? I want the Coquito sponsors coming up. We're getting the holiday season. We want all of that. Yeah. So I walk up to the joint, and the guy comes up to me, pulls up hard. He said, "Yo, old man, why you blowing the horn at me? Why don't you see him trying to pick?" I said, "I didn't know he was talking to me," so I kept walking. So he pulls up closer. The young boy decides to call me all type of names, and the young people say, "Yo, he's trying to punk the old man." I'm like, "They call him old man." So I start screaming at the crowd like, "I'm not fucking old. Like, I'm not old." So the young boy's like, "Fuck you, old man." And people like, "Yo, old man is off the hook." So the young boy decide he gonna come out with a stick to whip my ass. So, and anybody know me, I got a quick temper. So first thing I do is I put these black hands against his cheekbones. Smack! So I knock the young dude, I smack him, right? With the Dave Chappelle with the hands into the face, smack. So that's why I smacked him, right? So now the young people are yelling, yo, the old man got hard, the old man got nice hands. And I'm yelling at the crowd, fuck y'all, I'm not old, right? I'm not old. So an old white man start with his son, like, I told you, stop fucking with them old men. I'm like, brother. So I said, so the young boy's like, why you smack me? He pulled off, right? Thinking it's over. My ass feel my balls big, so I still go inside and order my shake. Now wait inside to order my shake. The young boy come back with 2 more cab drivers to whip my ass. So this thing gonna be a punk. Not me. My ass go out there and tell them all, I'm gonna beat your ass first. It was a woman too. I said some foul things. I will not stay on there because I want all our women sponsors to come back. Remember, this is a long, long time ago when I was 8. So I tell the lady first what I say to her. She bounces out. Now it's an older Latino dude in there. I said, Poppy, you want this? I ain't say smoke, whatever it was the word at the time. I said, you want it? He said, Poppy, no beef with me. He leave. Now I tell the young boy, now it's me and you again. And now the crowd goes crazy again. Yo, the old man punked your friends. I go back into the crowd yelling, I'm not fucking old. Right? So now the young boy gets scared again. He leaves. So I grab my shake thing. I'm all gangster walking like, yo, I got them young motherfuckers. But now I go to the car. Only thing I hear is something coming down the street. Now remember, I'm talking to my girlfriend that my wife didn't want to have on the phone. So now we argue because now the date changed up. She didn't want to go because I got an attitude. Right? I sound too hyper. I hear the car coming down the block. The revving. Only thing I do is turn. I'm sipping and I turn, and here comes that wild-eyed cab driver. He hits me. Boom! Shake goes everywhere. Shake is all over me. I grab onto the hood. He drags me. You might know, you go from the side street into Rockaway Boulevard. He turns with me on the hood like it's like some MacGyver crazy ass. Like, he goes over the curb, hits the curb. The shake is still in, like all over me, spattered all over the floor. I land on the curb. The people start yelling, he's trying to kill the old man. And the only thing I do is stumble. And I'm woozy. I'm like Trevor Burberry when Mike Tyson knocked him out. I can't get to my feet. Spaghetti legs. And the only thing I remember yelling, I'm not fucking old. Yo, that was the crazy ass man.
Classic. That's
now,
crazy.
Is it any truth?
And this is all true shit, man.
Is it any truth to the rumor that you went back there looking for him for like 2 or 3 days straight? Is that true?
That's absolutely true. I was going to kill him. Anybody knows me? I went to the cab stand trying to figure out what cab stand it was. And thank God I did not find him that night. It wasn't worth it. So that was
priceless.
Yeah,
let me say something. It was worth it. It was worth it. It was just worth it for that story, brother.
Yo, I know, man.
Yeah, you got one.
Yo, so we got a few. I want to talk about some hot topics, man. Lately, man, we got in the news lately was 50 Cent, and he came out to talking about voting for Trump because of his taxes. And what do you guys think about his statement? And to me, it was a selfish statement. But what do you guys think about what he said?
He's a selfish dude, man. You know what I mean? But we always knew that about 50. He never had to be anything else. He never promised or portrayed to be anything else. He's self-interested. And, I mean, to me, there's a school of thought that should be like, listen, if everybody voted in their own best interest, you know what I mean, it will be a lot more clear. You just have to be clear about what your self-interest is. Now, he's obviously not an ally, so I can't fool with him past his politics, you know what I'm saying? But you know, you can't, listen, you can't argue too much with it. All you can do is just, you know, acknowledge it, say, okay, all right, it is what it is, you know?
Well, let me say this. I have to say this, and I know this is going to sound foul coming from New York and being born in Queens. I'm tired of 50 Cent. I'm not even about this, just in general. I've never seen a person, this is just my own opinion, who is so afraid of being irrelevant that every week doesn't go by. You know, I looked at his trajectory. He comes out with a classic album, his first one out of the gate, and it's tough when your first album is your best album. He comes with this And after that, think about it. His music has always declined. He's never reached that level again, of course. But he constantly just wants to be. I think he'll say anything. He will. He's just the world's greatest antagonist. And I mean, to me, you know, if anybody makes their decisions based on what 50 Cent is saying, or any entertainer for that matter, nobody cares about your politics because it's just your politics. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, if you are a multimillionaire, then it would behoove you to vote for whoever will protect your taxes, except for the fact that if you have a fan base of people that supported you, and you know their struggle, and you know how they have been, you know, systemically oppressed and things like that, you wouldn't make a statement that irresponsible. Yeah. And I know a lot of it is tongue in cheek, the whole, I don't care if he hates black people and all those different things like that. It's just irresponsible and it just looks bad. So one week you out at Burger King handing out hundreds of dollars to teenage kids, and the next week you're talking about, you know, whatever, no different than the drug dealer that used to buy basketball uniforms for the kids in the neighborhood. It just doesn't add. And I'll just say this, 50 Cent to me will do anything to be discussed. He'll do anything to be relevant. And I'll be real with you, I'm surprised because dudes don't usually act like that. Like a lot of men don't act like that. And I just had to self-edit myself. But yeah, the average dude, I don't know a lot of dudes that just spend this much time worried about everybody else and always interested in just, you know, trolling people. I don't know dudes like that, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Some people say, that, you know, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, that's just all I was going to say is basically, I remember when I first heard about it, I was wondering, is 50 Cent doing this to, like you say, to stay relevant? Because, you know, he is notorious for doing that. The other thing is, I think I said it before in the other segment, I said we all might be in the same game, but we wearing the same jersey. Yeah. You know, 50 Cent is rich. The tax cuts and stuff benefit him long term. But the thing is that bothers me about these guys is that they are first generation millionaires. They shouldn't be that detached from the hood. You know what I'm saying? They've been poor before, so they should understand. They should have a little bit more sympathy instead of just worrying about themselves and their pockets. And let's face the facts. Even if they took, well, I think he was saying that it was 62% in New York, where the reality of it is, if he's got a good accounting or whatever, they're gonna find deductions and write-offs to help 50 Cent with his taxes and stuff. So he won't be paying.
All he needs to start donating a little bit more so he can write off some stuff on the side.
Right. The thing is, you know, with rich people, they maximize their deductions, and that's basically all they're gonna have to do. Because what? Okay, let me ask you everybody over 400,000. Everybody over 400,000. Biden said he's going to tax at a higher rate. Correct?
Something around that number.
Yeah. So the thing is, people over 400,000, they're just going to maximize their deductions. You know.
Well, let me ask this question: if a person is 20 years old, what do they know 50 Cent has?
The show Power and Power. Yeah, Power. Somebody said nobody's gonna stop watching Power. Like I think the shows became trash. So like,
well, first of all, let me say this. I'm gonna just be honest with you, and I don't know what the viewing public perceives me as. Maybe I look like, I don't know, a dude that's disconnected. I watched that. My niece asked me to get stars for Power when it came out. I saw an episode. I think I watched one episode, which is one more than I watched, I think, Empire. I got through half of that. But the episode of Power that I watched, the DA was dating the biggest drug dealer in the world, and everybody knew it but the DA. That was my first and last episode of Power right there. and the writing was so horrible. And everybody thought it was Shakespeare in the Park. And I'm like, y'all looking at this like it has some type of profundity. This is absolutely ridiculous. So I guess I shouldn't say that publicly. I thought the show was just terrible. I thought it was just very, very weak. And it bothers me. I'm gonna say this, and I mean this. From Tyler Perry to 50 Cent, whoever, they make too much money to have this level of writers working for them. Really, to me, you just throw anything at the black community and we just supposed to accept it. They could do better than that. And Tyler Perry know he wrong. And let me tell you something. I am a Christian and I go to church. I get no entertainment out of watching the church ladies with the hat and all every stereotype and all that stuff like that. You can see that on a Sunday. And so I know he's made $1 billion doing it, but they could write better than this. Really, they get writing should challenge you, make you think of something, stretch it. But the usual stuff, I mean, it's the same shtick to me. But yeah, I just, the reason I asked what you would think of him, because Get Rich or Die Trying, I think, dropped in 2003. And so he's not known for the music. And I think the music couldn't sustain him. I think what happened was 50 Cent had a great story, and that was getting shot and surviving it. And then after that, it wasn't of interest. So it just became this thing. You know what it is? He's the Reggie Miller looking for a Spike Lee. That's why, if you notice, every single time he tried to drop an album, One Promise at a Time, we were beefing with Cameron, and then the first thing was Ja Rule, and so his formula was the Ja Rule thing and Murder Inc. thing made him big. He could never find that again, and that's why for years he antagonized Jay-Z, and Jay-Z would never bite. He always wanted to get in something. He used to call Jay-Z everything he could call him, and he would just never bite. Because if you're not on that person's level, they shouldn't reach down to you and help you. Why would they?
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
That's real talk. Yeah. So we had Diddy also talking recently, like, talking about the racism and all that kind of stuff like that, and think it's gonna be a race war. And before he's like holding back your vote. Any thoughts on what Diddy said over this last week?
What did he say about holding back the vote?
Like before, it's like same thing as on the Ice Cube thing, like hold back the vote, make them earn your vote, stuff like that. Now I could dig that. But then he also was talking about getting prepared for like the race war, and if Trump doesn't win, and all
let me just say this, and I know I've spoken more than I spoke in previous episodes, but I just have to get this off my chest. This idea of holding back the vote. So let me ask you a question: what's the alternative to that?
There is.
This is the way I look at it. So, and I want to pose this question to you all, and I've been saying this and thinking this a lot. So you have two choices here, okay? In my example, my hypothetical, you have two choices. One of these two people are going to be elected. The first person, their platform is, if they get in office, they're going to punch you in the face 100 times a day. The second person, if they get in, they're going to punch you in the face 50 times a day. Now, you say, you know what? I don't like either of those scenarios. Which one are you going to vote for? You say, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'll just let it go. Whichever way it comes out, I'm fine. Which way are you going to vote? Which way are you going to go?
But see, that's the key. You have to feel like, if you feel like you only have those two choices, then you're going to choose the lesser of two evils, which is the 50 times. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But when you say I'm not going to vote at all, now you rolling the dice.
Sometimes if there's a time to roll the dice, sometimes, you know what I mean? According to people. So, listen, I think Diddy, what he can do, the best thing I heard from him was when he was saying that starting another political party. That was the best thing that came out of that conversation for me. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, cool. He's one of those people who could legitimately start a new political party. And that party could maybe explain things or explain the issues or whatever to people. You know what I mean? And you can kind of start from there. You know what I mean? But but listen, I didn't know there was this many Trump supporters in our community.
Derek, let me ask you this question, and you may not know the correct answer. Is Faith Evans rich? Is Mace rich?
Nah.
Is Mace rich? In other words, everybody that's been associated with Bad Boy work at my job. Okay. At the end of the day, I'm saying. At the end of the day, this idea, I don't know how people just get nominated to be black leaders or something like that. Because at the end of the day,
but you just said it, they got nominated.
The way he managed, but I'm saying the way he managed his company and his people and the backlash from a lot of things that he did and the way he treated people, I mean, it just looks bad. It just does. What makes you trust this person? That's what I'm saying. What makes, I'm not saying that you do, but I'm saying what makes us, you know what I mean? I saw when they did the Grammy thing and Puffy got up and he was like, it stops right now. All of this stuff stops right now. Y'all cheated Michael Jackson. Y'all cheated Beyonce, and they did. But at the end of the day, these industries that you've been in bed with, both literally and figuratively, all right, edit that part out. I'm sorry. What I'm saying is this: at the end of the day, you made money from these people, and then you want to come in front of your people with this stance, and it just doesn't seem believable to me. It just doesn't.
We all realize that basically the black community votes for the least racist candidate. That's how we basically always vote, except for the two terms that Barack Obama ran. But
can I bridge that for a minute?
Go ahead.
The least vocally racist candidate. All right?
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, as the black community, we have a vibe in a sense. It's hard to trick us to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? We know who's going to do us in the least. And the thing is, like I said, except for the 2 terms that Barack Obama ran, that's how the black community votes. They vote for the least known racist candidate. That's how it basically is. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't see that. I don't see a change. As far as the race, as far as if I think there's going to be a race war, no, I think there might continue to be racial incidents, but I don't think there's going to be a race war. That's just not going to happen. Yeah,
well, I don't think it's an issue of. First of all, I think there's a couple of things. First of all, I think a lot of people don't believe in government, and that's why it's so important on all levels to vote. They don't believe in it. So one thing you could do is get involved in it. And let me just tell you this quick story. I don't know if I shared it before, but I had a fire. When I had the fire, because of the COVID, everything is shut down. You cannot get any insurance money until you get a fire report called 9 Metro Tech, where you have to get your fire report from in New York. And they're working from home. They don't know when they can get this report. Insurance company will not budge. They don't want to hear it. One day it just dawns on me. I'm like, let me call my congressman. Let me call my congressman's office. I call the congressman's office. He's like, oh, we don't deal with that. You call your council member's office. They connect me to my council member. And I'm telling you, the man that I've been told that was out for 3 weeks, the man that I've been trying to reach for 2 months, called me from his cell number that day and said, I'm going to email you the fire report. This man, every time I call his office, they like, he out. I went to a council member's number and I realized they have different contacts. They are able to reach people that we can't. So we have to get involved in this process. It bothers me to see a place back in the day like Ferguson, where it's 95% black and the police chief is white. We've allowed that stuff to happen. And what really gets me is, I remember coming out of Madison Square Garden one night, the night that Patrick Ewing number was retired. I was in the garden. I come outside. There's 3,000 kids lined up around Foot Action. And then I'm like, what's going on? Oh, the new Jordans drop at midnight. Now let some legislation come in to say something that we don't like. They had legislation started in Virginia that said if you are caught with your pants sagging without a belt, it could be up to a $400 fine. When I tell you dudes in the barbershop went off, when I tell you they was ready to march on Washington, it's not the voting, it's people don't recognize what matters. You know, I have a cousin right now, he's 41 years old, been in jail before. He told me he never voted before. I'm like, if anybody needs to vote, you need to vote. And for the first time in his life, he just voted. You know what I mean? You know, I just think you need to be heard. And I think we need to be educated on that. And that's the reality of it.
And this is a good segue. This is a good segue we're about to go into now. So we're going to have our first special guest for the night is my boy, my frat brother, Karan. Karan, he'll be on. And can we get Karan in the studio? There we go. Hey. My brother, he's coming on right now.
How are you?
Right. What's on, brother? What's up, my brother? What's up, brother? Welcome.
Y'all can hear me good?
Yeah, we hear you, man. We got you.
I got a question for y'all. Is every guest special, or am I just
the special? You're super special.
You're special.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I'm glad I didn't answer. I almost answered that wrong. what they said.
Listen, Ron. You know any sponsors that might want to be on this show?
We need all the help we can get.
We need all the help we can get, man.
You know, how about y'all call your local council member to sponsor the show? What's up with that? I'm listening to y'all.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I wanted to add to that. Like, you know, people talk about, you know, voting for the presidency and all that stuff, but the most important votes is for your congressmen, your local politicians. Those are the people that get things changed in your community. Those are the people you have immediate access to. You don't have access to the president.
First, hold on. Let's get Karan's background. Karan, tell people a little about yourself and what you just ran for and stuff like that.
Okay, so check it. Before I even get into me, brothers, I must say thank you for the conversation that y'all are continuing to have every week. My wife makes sure to put it on and we sit back, we rock back and just listen to y'all divvy it up. In terms of let's chop it up, it is definitely barbershop talk. It's conversation that I would be having with my boys anyway. So I really appreciate the fact that y'all have created this platform and continue to have this dialogue, especially around this time where people need this sort of content to keep them sane and to also help them make decisions as they move forward. So thank all of you for what you've been doing.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Karan. Appreciate
I will send Karan's check to him via
Cash App.
I appreciate it. But you know, myself, I'm locally involved, like in everything. I'm a local community gardener. I have a garden around around the corner from my house with a bunch of community residents that are a part of it. I was the president of the former block that I was on, the block association. I was appointed to the local community board. I don't know if everybody's familiar with community boards, but community boards are local municipal bodies that are responsible for the enhancement of service delivery. There's 50 people that either live, work, or have a special relationship that are appointed by your local council members to the community board. The borough president appoints all 50, but the recommendations come from the local council members. Think about that. I now currently work for the district office of my local community board. So I went from sitting on the board to now being a part of the 9 to 5 operations of you know, enhancing service delivery and what that looks like. And then I got real ambitious and I put my hat in the ring to run for local office for state senate to represent the 19th senatorial district, which encompasses East New York, Canarsie, a piece of Brownsville, Mill Basin, Old Mill Basin, basically all of Southeast Brooklyn, black district. At the end of the day, and
black is dope.
Black,
very black.
You know, you got your flavor of Caribbean peppers in one section. You got your Southern belles that are up north. You got your people that, you know, diehard Brooklyn, et cetera, all different bits and pieces of the diaspora in this particular district. And in a 2-man race, we came in second, which is not the worst thing. We got over 6,000 votes, which was an accomplishment within itself. When we launched our campaign January 20th on King Day, the guiding principle and quote, "The time is always right to do what's right," is what we used. And in presenting that to the residents of the district for them to make a decision about the future, do they want radical change or do they want what has been the consistent, regular status quo that you've kind of dealt with, but are now fully in tune to? When we launched the campaign, we didn't expect a global pandemic to take over our lives and immediately have to pivot to a digital apparatus. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I'm married and I have a 4-year-old. So when I say it was one of the greatest experiences of my life, I truly mean it, stacking it up against those things, because it was important for me to not only watch my 4-year-old son in his face and recognize that I could leave him all the money in the world. I could leave him the house, you know, I could leave him a bunch of things, but if I'm really about something, I'm going to leave him with a better condition than I inherited, not financially, but also a part of the community. You know, I grew up in East New York. I've been here since I was 3 years old. My parents came here from Trinidad, had me. My wife has the same story with her parents coming here from Trinidad, having her, and us being together, my grandparents being on the block over, understanding the intergenerational and experiences of so many people. I recognize that with the time being right to do what's right, we can't continue to sit back and just have dialogue about the things that are happening around us. It's not creating the change we wish to see. And I know Damon probably wasn't expecting that long introduction.
No. I got no, that's a good introduction. I got one thing. Since you West Indian, can you pop your finger like this? Like all West Indians can snap their finger. Can you do that?
There you go. He was Indian. There you go. He did it. Yeah.
Southern people can't do that popping finger thing, man. We can't. That doesn't work for us. But real quick question. So you said we did go into this whole new online thing and internet, and one of the challenges that we had during this process, during this time, during this pandemic, was collecting data of the census. And the thing is now, like you see, like the Republican Party are trying to basically juke and scam us all out of the proper data and collecting of data of the census. And I know you're one of the big advocates of the census, and you talk about a lot on your own personal platform. Mm-hmm. What do you say? What do you say? Can you educate the people? What if we don't get a good collection of the census? What are we jeopardizing?
everything you see around you. The census, the money that is going to be dished out because of what the census is. The census is a count of all the individuals that live in the United States. That's regardless of citizenship, regardless of financial status. As long as you are in the United States of America, you are supposed to be counted. And the simplest way that I heard this census explained, in terms of just everybody getting it, if there's 10 people in the house and only 5 of you are counted in the census, you absorb the amount of resources for 10 people, but they have you counted for 5. So they're going to allocate the funding for 5 people, for the things that you might need. So just of various examples, when you think about schools, you have your local schools. Around the corner for me, I grew up going to public school 202. If only 5 students are counted and we need the resources for 100, and this is an extreme example, we need the resources for 100 students because it services this great big area, and you didn't respond to the census, you are jeopardizing the future of your children. We got 5 textbooks now because we only counted 5 students. How are 100 students going to deal with just 5 textbooks? So that's the simplest way to think about it. But when you think about the census is big money. You're talking about $675 billion per year divvied up locally for our communities for everything that you could think of.
All kind of stuff. So basically, by you not counting yourself in the census, you're basically throwing the community into a backlog. We're short on everything.
Absolutely. Okay. And traditionally, because our history calls for this, so we haven't shot ourselves in the foot. America has shot us in the foot and lynched us and all kinds of other stuff. But when you think about the census traditionally, what's the response that you might get from your parents? I'm not sending them my information. They're not going to know my business. We're real particular about our business, right? So I'm not going to tell the government that Uncle Larry has been on the couch in our house for the past 6 months or something like that. But Uncle Larry needs to be counted. Uncle Larry is riding a train at New Lots in East New York. Uncle Larry needs to be counted. Uncle Larry is parking his car when he's not taking the train, and his car is a part of the erosion of and causing the potholes in the street. Uncle Larry's a part of all of that. Uncle Larry needs fresh food in the community. He needs fresh food from Country Farm, and I'm naming places and spaces that y'all may not be familiar with, but this is literally my community. So Uncle Larry needs to be counted. Not only Uncle Larry, but your son, daughter that might be away at college but is back home, they need to be counted. And Damon did highlight this, but we did a lot of work for the census in this cycle, and it is now since passed. But responding to the census is by far one of the most important things that you could do. And I'll close with this just to really make it hit home. I just turned 30. So my 40-year-old self, for those of you that filled out the census, thanks you. Because, when I'm older, think about it, Chadwick Boseman, 39 years old, passes away. We got to get more checkups. We gotta do all the colonoscopies and all the things that we need to do. I need to be able to do that right here in my own community. So if the funds are not there at those health centers, I'm gonna have a problem. I might put it off, and then be in a situation where it's no good. So my 40-year-old self, thanks you. I have a 4-year-old son. His 14-year-old self thanks you for doing the census, because those funds are going to be allocated for the next 10 years affecting our lives. My mom is 56. Her 66-year-old self, when she retires, thanks you, because these funds that are going to be dished out and doled out through the census, and it's not just a financial thing. I would definitely be selling y'all short with that. The census is directly connected to representation. So
Yeah, I was going to ask a question along those lines. Like, what about people? You have people with various immigration statuses. You know what I mean? And you may be a little reluctant, maybe, to fill out a census form. How does the census affect them?
Yeah, and the brothers and sisters are incarcerated because now upstate gets to count them.
Yeah, upstate gets to count them. So that's the thing about this system. It's never been really used to the benefit of us. Even when we get hip to it, they shoot us in the foot. So in 1790, when I think the first census was conducted, we were counted as 3/5 of a person. Even though we were whole people, we were counted as 3/5. So this is the start of the census. Why is that important to note? It's important to note because a lot of people think, well, how come the census is now suddenly important? It's always been important. That's why they counted us as 3/5 of a human being, because the connection between representation and the census numbers is so important. The South would have had more representation in the House of Representatives if we were going by whole people. Right. So 3/5 was so that there would be some semblance of balance between North and South, and the battle around slavery. When you think about it, the census was a battle about us. About how we're going to count these people, because it's directly tied to representation. Fast forward to where we're at now. Most folks are discouraged from filling out the census because, you don't want people in your business, et cetera, et cetera. But living in a state like New York, I don't know where everybody's from or where everybody's at.
Everybody in this room is from New York.
No doubt. Okay, cool. And we've lost, I think, since 1950, like 2 seats because of the undercounting that has happened. This census year, as challenging as it's been, think about it. Census Day is April 1st. What was happening in the city April 1st? Everybody was on the couch. Everybody was on the couch.
Or sick.
Yeah, or sick. And when you think about how the census, how they send out enumerators, which are the people come knock on your door, have you filled out your census? This was the first age of social media for the census. It was the first time the census you could respond online, which is wild when you think about it. It's the first time that you could call and do your census. This was the first time those things were implemented. Before, you just had to do it by mail, and we already know the problems that we have with mail.
Speaking of that, right? Yep. So over the last few months, as you've seen, that we have had a lot of blacks for Trump. A few years ago, we had that same black dude that Jerry Curl looking shit that was behind Trump all the time. His punk ass was out there all the time. Now we got now. I'm sorry. Sponsors. These are not the words of my other co-hosts. But so now we have a lot of people that voted for Trump 4 years ago that are black. The ones we have Trump blacks with Trump again is out here, and again you got Candace Raccoon Owens. You have what's the fat dude who used to be on the sports dude, Jason Fatman Whitlock.
Whitlock.
Yeah, him. You got Kanye West calling him a god. Jesus, Kanye. So now, what do you say to the black Trump supporters? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna bring in a special guest right now. It's my man Damien. He's from East New York. He's from the hood. This is my dude right here. This is my dude. This is my dude. This is my brother and everything. I want to welcome before you get answer that. Bring in Damien.
Whoa, hold on.
What's up, Damien?
Hold on. You gotta set me up here. Hold on.
Listen, as they say in the streets, I had to line you up, bro. I
think there's a difference between a Trump supporter and a vote for Trump.
Okay, go. Let's explain.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
I believe in the art of war, right? I'm a black man. I'm 45 years old. I love my community. I have a community center. I run a nonprofit that help brothers and sisters that come home from prison. It's called CMO Network. From the age of 19 to the age of 29, I was in New York State Prison, where I earned my master's degree in theology and ministerial services. But my vote for Trump wasn't for Trump. My vote for Trump was a test And I'm telling you, at 45 years old, this is the woke that I've seen any black people in my lifetime. This is the best time that I've ever seen us aware of where we stand in this country. So it wasn't a vote for Trump. It was just a vote against the bullshit that we've been going through. So many times, too many.
But you don't think there's going to be more bullshit by you voting for Trump?
No.
I feel like there's a lot of bullshit going on right now.
I voted for the bullshit. I believe in a growth-filled environment, and there's too many people riding on the gray. There's no gray here. I know people that don't look like me, that's not of my tribe, that don't spend with my tribe on purpose. On purpose. But for our people, man, we are so forgiving. I got the number one basketball prospect this year went to an historical black college. That never happened in my lifetime. That could only happen under this idiot right here. I didn't vote for Trump because I think that he would change the system. I know that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So
do you think the young man, not because of Trump, but do you think because of the George Floyd and all the other stuff that was going on, and we started waking up to the education of historical black college? Because actually, back in the day when I went to school, and Kelvin, all of us around the same age, in the late 80s when we started looking for colleges, we had the biggest numbers of black kids going to black college because of shows like A Different World. You had School Days, and I think that was the awakening. Something happened in between that time that kind of changes from going to start black college.
Well, that's one way to look at it. I see somebody here said a vote for Trump is against my organization. Damon, you know me. You know I don't write grants. You know I get my money the old-fashioned way. People of color have always been the number one spender and the worst investor. That's why they don't mind giving us money. They give us money because we're not going to invest it in ourselves. So I'm not looking for the government to take care of me. That's not what I'm doing. As far as the vote for Trump, I'm not a supporter of Trump, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend. If this system works perfect, my tribe still lose. So anybody trying to fix the system is not on my side. Trump is enough of an idiot to fuck the system up, and I'm with that. Sorry about
Karan. No. Hey, listen, we curse. Our sponsors already left. I'm trying to work on it next week. Get our sponsors back. I kind of messed up things a couple of episodes ago. So, but Karan, you look like you was about to say something.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. It's a pleasure to meet you, man. Because Damon gave me a little backdrop and was like, "Yo, we're gonna have this conversation." Da 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 da. And I was like, "Okay, cool. I don't think it's gonna be no beef or anything like that." At the end, yeah, but something you just said really, really piqued my interest about, like, you don't necessarily want to vote for folks that are going to fix the system because the system is designed to essentially oppress us, et cetera, and run it the way that the system is supposed to be. You don't think what Trump has done is he's not running the system the way it is? Because when you think about the system that we are under, it's a capitalist system. They believe in white supremacy. They believe in essentially the white apparatus superiority, et cetera, et cetera. You don't believe that he's still functioning the system the way that it's designed to oppress us? Like,
of course, I think he's functioning the system all in but one aspect. There's no secrecy. So those individuals that's telling him, hey, you can't do that, let's do it like this now. He's like, nah, we're going to be straight up about it. So it's almost like, imagine your sister dating somebody that's not good to her. We've been dating America, and America has not been dating us. So if I'm talking to my sister, I'm going to tell my sister, yo, stop dating somebody that's not dating you. It's all there. Stop talking about he love you. Stop talking about he makes you happy. The facts don't have no feelings. And the fact says, America does not care about my tribe. And every time I fight and try to sit at her table, she changes the rules or takes what I have. So even if I played the rules, she takes it. Look, do your research. Self-educate. You got Freedmen's Bank. You got several different times in America where we accumulated funds after slavery, after being in prison, and they still took it without anything. Yo, I'm taking this. Fuck that. So why would we still try to play the game with them? We've all been single, right? We've all been single, and women have access to those 5 words. What are we doing here? Trump gave us the answer. You can't do no worse than me. Why? People ask that question. A woman will ask you, what are we doing here? Why? Because she want to know what is she supposed to do now. We know exactly where we stand with America, and we still trying to sit at our table and say, please help me.
But when you vote for that, you are supporting to keep us in a certain place.
No, what I'm doing is backing you into a corner. I am an agent of change. I am someone who changed my life, and I help others change their life. Most people, 90%, only change when they back against the wall.
So what I'm hearing is that you're like Trump in the sense that Trump is a nihilist and he is a disruptor. So you are voting for him on that, on that qualification, him as a disruptor, and you wanting to just completely destroy what's going on and be a disruptor along with it. You think this whole thing needs to be torn down, and Trump is the best agent to do that.
The only place you put in a new system if the other system is gone. You can't place a new system while our system is here.
So let me just take something. I'm going to take some power away from this conversation, right? Because we're going down a bunch of philosophical paths right now. Mm-hmm. None of us in this room have ever voted for president, ever, right? We all live in New York State. New York State is democratic by nature. My brother, you, even though you voted for Trump, you really voted for the electors that are supposed to cast their vote for Trump. Living in New York State, you basically threw it down a well. And I say that respectfully, of course. You threw it down a well because the electors in New York State are going to be Democratic. You can look up your electors. One of them you might know, Bill Clinton, is an elector for New York State, where he votes for president. December 14th, I think, is the random date that the country put in place where those votes are going to be cast. And it's, I forget the number of electors, with 29, because I believe that's how much it correlates to the census, et cetera, et cetera. But we have 29 electors as a state, which is tied for third in terms of how they try to get to the number of 270. So I get what you're saying from a philosophical standpoint, but it really does nothing when we think about it with how the system functions. You didn't do anything, bro. You really didn't put him in place. Really
you know what? Can I chime in?
Go ahead,
Kelvin. Go ahead. I think in this conversation has really helped me understand something. Trump gets credit for being an idiot. And that, because I was trying to figure out why people would vote for him, because I was like, I remember initially it was this thing about I'm going to drain the swamp, which he fired more people in 3 years than I've seen in my entire life in about 10 administrations. So in other words, he doesn't get credit for what he knows. He gets credit for what he doesn't know. He gets credit for what he doesn't do. And so now you made me understand a lot of that. So what you said in essence was you think he's an idiot, and you in turn aligned yourself with an idiot. And so now I understand that. So that makes a lot of sense. Because I used to wonder, I was like, when I see the man, I think nothing intellectual. I think nothing, thought provoking. I think a man that knows nothing about foreign policy or foreign affairs. And then I hear tonight that because a young black man decided to go to hysterically black college instead of going to a regular D1 school, which he really pretty much did that on the strength of George Floyd dying, and did not attribute any of that to Trump, but Trump gets credit for that. So now I want to thank you, because you made me understand the nonsensical. And I appreciate you for that, because I was looking at it wrong. I was thinking it had to do with logic or common sense or intellect. And now that none of that is in play, you're right. He becomes the perfect candidate for certain people. And that makes a lot of sense. So I appreciate that, my brother. You just helped me understand. I've been struggling with this for 3.5 years, and now you brought some clarity to it. So if you are an idiot, then some people will vote for you because of that idiocy. And that makes a lot of sense now, and now I get it. So thank you for that, because I didn't get that before, and that makes a lot of sense.
My question for you, D, is this. With the black people, like COVID-19 destroyed our community. When they said white people get a cold, we get the flu. And it's shown this year, because our neighbors, like we were talking a little while before about, like, with the census and stuff like that. In my neighborhood, I say 11436 zip code in Queens. We don't have an urgent care nowhere near me. I had to go to a white neighborhood. I had to go over to Howard Beach to get an urgent care, right? So what now with COVID-19? How many? We have the 222,000, something like that. People dead.
220.
And probably so many black people. How was he good for us during the COVID-19? And then I'm gonna ask you another question from a brother named Marshall in a minute.
Well, I hope we have a transcript because I didn't say that Trump was good for us.
Okay.
What I said was, in my 45 years on this life, I have never seen my brothers and sisters so woke. Gotcha. So it wasn't about Trump.
I agree with you.
I agree. I go with that. I don't know about in your lifetime. You say in your lifetime. That's right.
As far as the young man going to a historical black college, I did not say. What I said was a situation. If we want to talk about George Floyd, I know that maybe several other presidents would have took a knee. It took an idiot to not listen to anybody else and say, don't take a knee. For some reason, there's still black people here that think that America is for them. Even though
what you're doing, but the problem is you're mixing issues. So in other words, everything that happens under his administration does not mean that he caused that. So I say other day I saw a young man help an old lady across the street. That's because Trump is in office. It just doesn't work like that.
No,
so
I'm never giving him credit for that.
Right, but what I'm saying is this. In other words, these messages come off mixed like that. That's what I'm saying. I've never seen brothers and sisters so woke. You've never seen a man get someone to hold his knee on somebody and kill him like that either. So in other words, what happens is this. And well, the rest of the world has it. The rest of the world has it. So I want you to know they could have done that with Obama in office and killed the man too. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, I'm saying don't give him credit for things that have happened just because it happened to happen in his administration. That's what I'm saying. But if you say that, in other words, what I was saying was this. I realize he doesn't have to do anything to get your vote. That's what I realized. In other words, you feel he's an idiot and you voted for him. So that makes a lot of sense because I used to wonder why people voted for this man who said, I'm not a politician. I don't have a record. Now he has a record and he has a failed record. But again, people say being an idiot is a positive. I didn't know that. I thought it was a negative. You just said he got to vote for being an idiot, right?
Kelvin, I asked you to put Trump's record against America's record. What's the difference?
Put it into context. What
have they done for your tribe, America as a country? That was so wrong that Trump did not do the same thing.
America. In other words, I get what you're saying. So in other words, if somebody treats me bad and somebody else treats me bad, I just need to just vote for somebody else bad just because I've been treated bad.
Yeah. Correct. Just get comfortable with being treated bad. Just get comfortable with it. That's basically what you're saying.
If I could just add, that one line really makes the hairs on my neck stand up about you've never seen our brothers and sisters more woke. And someone in the comments basically said exactly what I was thinking. You know, when we think about our brothers and sisters being woke, this era of social media makes it seem, I guess, a bit more sensationalized than it is. When we think about wokeness, we're really talking about raising consciousness and people being completely connected and understanding ourselves collectively, if I could use your words, Damon, as a tribe, recognizing that we are all of the same and we should be supporting, that connects to supporting Black businesses and making sure that our apparatuses are raised up. That's what the Panthers, the Black Panther Party, wokeness, that they embody that. When we think about the Black Political Convention of 72, this was literally Black people from all over the United States coming together to have this dialogue about how do we participate in this political infrastructure that is the United States that was designed to oppress us, and how do we go back to our communities and become elected officials that really represent and do the things for our future. Fast forward, even when we think about when crack was in our communities, there was the Black men's movement against crack in the late 80s, early 90s, right here in Bed-Stuy and East New York, so when I think about, and I'm not going to give any more. Well, no, I'm going to give you a chance to respond. I'm going to just finish my statement with these are prime examples of really just small examples of what is a part of our history. There's always been a conscious thread that didn't need the worst extreme of what's happening around us in our present day to organize themselves. They were organized because there's so many other things that we have to face and fight against. And I know we're like moving on time. I want to say this. We can get caught up in presidential politics as a community. This is the time where everybody swear up and down they know politics. They watching CNN, and MSNBC every evening that they come in, and they tweeting random stuff about politics like everybody knows something all of a sudden. I'm not putting myself out there as an expert, but I studied this. I studied government and politics as an undergrad. I got my master's in public administration. I pay attention to this in non-presidential years. So my encouragement to all of the viewers and everybody that's listening is that next year might even be more important than this year in terms of local elections. We got 36 council members that are term limited. Council members have more control over your immediate lives than the presidency when you really compare the two. When you want to see a change, everybody use that Gandhi quote, be the change that you wish to see. The changes come from those local seats when we are completely attuned to what's happening locally. So that's 2021. There's a bunch of term limits. So that's just the city council. 4 out of 5 of the borough presidents are term limited. Just to define it, term limited means, the Eric Adams, borough president of Brooklyn, he can't run again in this cycle. That's why he's running for mayor. Mayor de Blasio, he's term limited. He can't run for mayor. When you think about it, the political landscape of our communities are about to shift in the most hard way. And most people are going to drop off the map after November 3rd, after they cast their vote, and then think about it in the next 4 years, 2024. Yeah. That's when you have Diddy and everybody else. They got all these plans close to election day, but in between years, where the hell are the plans? Where's the founding the party? Where is that? And why aren't you yielding to the people who are doing the work in between those presidential years? So we could go back and forth in presidential politics. It's real easy. It gets everybody excited emotionally, but really I want to encourage everybody to just pivot their focus well beyond November 3rd, because 2021 is huge.
So a lot of people the chat was going off so crazy. I could barely keep up with the chat. Then talking about Trump to get people heated. I think Thanksgiving's gonna be kind of fucked up this year for everyone. I don't know.
So this is the thing that gets me. He's 45 years old. I'm 47. This thing about being woke, I almost resent that term. I remember being a kid learning about Medgar Evers, my parents making me watch about the Civil Rights Movement and the Voting Act and things like that. Why black people, it seemed like apparently just found out stuff when Trump got in office. What is this woke? I saw Rodney King get beat with a club on TV on a video cam back in the day. It's like, when did we find out America was foul? When did we find that out? Like 3 years ago? When did people find out America was foul? That amazed me. I didn't know America was founded on racism until Donald Trump came into office. That's what I just don't understand. That's what it comes across as. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead, Damien.
It's always been there.
I'm sorry, Damien. What you gonna say?
Go ahead. He wanted to say something.
No, I'm just hoping the transcript and we could go back.
Maybe we don't have the transcript, brother. Just say what you're gonna say now, brother.
We low budget here. We got low budget.
Right. Was in my lifetime. Karan, how old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30 years old. What do you remember about the crack era?
What do I remember about the crack era? I don't remember anything, but I can also look at.
Hold on. I lived
my elders.
Crack stopped because Donald Trump was in office, by the way.
No, I was a warrior in the crack area. Mm-hmm. I was one of those guys that was out there that was selling to pregnant women. So I know the situation. Unlike anybody, not like anybody else, I run on reality therapy. That's what I run my program on. So I know that jail isn't a good thing. It's not for everybody. But after 10 years serving in prison, it's some people that deserve to be in jail. I'm nobody that's open for everybody. D, you know me. So it's not like coming and I'm pulling some shit out my ass. I put my money where my mouth is. I put my actions. I put my body in the line of fire. I love my community. I love my people. And we all got to play different roles. I know brothers that'll sit there and it'll be a march and they be like, yo, where the thugs at? Where the gangsters at? And I text them on the side. I hit them on the DM and say, yo, come to me after you finish. And I tell them when the bullets start flying, you're not going to be there. And I ain't going to let nobody call you out. So everybody got to play their role. Everybody got to play their role. I respect everybody approach. Everybody sees it different. I understand. But for me, I don't believe that enough people in my tribe believe that this country is not for them. Because I hear them talk. I hear the things they say. Right now, and I got people I know that are able-bodied and ready to work, but they don't want to work because the government is sending them money. I got gangsters that don't know how to grow nothing. If you don't know how to grow, how you going to be a gangster? How you going to be against the government if you can't grow anything? If you don't have any land? If you don't have any
gangster.
So my thing is, you just can't say it. You got to live it. You got to be about it.
Yeah, but for your example,
look, I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm definitely not wrong.
So anybody want to respond to that last see Karan, your mouth is kind of open, so I don't know.
You know, when I came on this program, it wasn't about convincing anybody that the things that I have is right versus wrong or anything like that. It's really to put forth you know, just my beliefs. You know, these are the things that I believe in. And me not being an adult or basically an adult during the crack era. Alive? I was born in 1990.
After the
Damn, boy, I was a freshman.
After the crack era.
Crack was still around in the 90s.
It was
heavy,
you know. Yeah, so I don't know why
it was big in the 80s. It was from like 82 to 87.
Crack is still around now, but in the 90s it was
not crack like in the 80s.
It was crack
like
that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there.
The thing is, like, we got to stay on topic here. Let's talk about
it's neither here nor there.
It plays no role.
My experiences and the things that I'm presenting is not necessarily coming because I've seen, like, I was a full adult during that time. I listened to my elders, the folks that have been around, the octogenarians, I don't even know how to say this, the 70-year-olds, the 60-year-olds. You know, I have conversations with folks like Viola Plummer, you know, who helped founded the December 12th movement. Offshoot, Sonny Abupadika Carson is one of the founders of the December 12th movement. He was the at the vanguard of the black men's movement against crack, going into crack houses and making sure that, you're not gonna sell to our community. That's not gonna happen. So when I present and speak on these things, and because it was really just to combat the idea that you've never seen folks more woke, I'm going based on the history that I know from the elders. You know, I might be young in age, but I'm well beyond my years in terms of my experiences, what I make sure I absorb. So when as we pivot back to what we're talking about in terms of everything politically, you know, I'm again encouraging folks to really take the local stuff seriously. And on the local level, I'm gonna just put y'all on some game real quick. Right? At the local level, you don't have someone overt like Trump. You have nothing but Democrats in Brooklyn and Queens, you know, so you think everybody's good. Wrong. Everybody comes from a different everybody comes from a different branch of the quote unquote Democratic tree. And almost everybody comes from a political machine. When we're talking about political machines, these are your local, your Thomas Jefferson club, your this club, your that club, that are essentially controlling and pulling the strings behind every elected official that you may or may not know. There are very, very few. East New York, I think, has the best example of elected officials who are registered Democrats, but are not put in place by a political machine. And Assemblyman Charles Barron, I think some of you might know him, and Councilmember Inez Barron, who are black radicals to their core, come from outside of this whole democratic apparatus through the organization Operation Power, but I'm not presenting on that, so I'll pivot away from it. But when you think about the Democrats that you have in office as your local council member, your assembly person, your state senator, they come out of these machines that put the Democratic Party over the people. I think so. A lot of us have seen these extreme conundrums locally. Like, how could you vote for this project and call it affordable housing when our community don't make that much money? These are council members voting for gentrification to change their community and essentially get y'all all moved out. So now, when you look at Black people, they either running east, come or going into Queens, or they're going down south, and all the Black people live in Atlanta now. This is happening, and it's directly related to those local elected officials. So why not participate at the local level?
Well, the reason why Black people moving down south is because of the good chicken wings in the strip club. So I just want to say that.
The lemon pepper, man,
lemon pepper wings are hard to turn down,
amazing,
brother.
Man. Yeah.
But no, I want to thank you guys, man, for coming on today, because we got to go to the next segment, man. Like my man D, listen, brother, I love you no matter what, how you vote, whatever. You my man. We chop it up anytime, have drinks or whatever. Karan, I love you, man. Gold Mob, my dude.
Come on, man. I need to see you, man.
Yeah, hey. Y'all both in the same hood, man. Y'all gotta link up, man.
Demar, you gotta connect it. You the conduit.
I just want to say one thing before we go, man. Thanks to platforms like this and the internet, we start talking about this being us. This time we're being more woke than we've ever been. Mm-hmm. Think of the marketplace of ideas. The marketplace of ideas is more broad, more inclusive than it's ever been, thanks to the internet and platforms like this. So more people, you know what I mean? So that's where we're at with it right now. That's why we're more woke.
And it's good that Black people don't think the same. So that's why we want to have platforms like this to show that we all are different. And so people that don't know about our culture and how we are, that we all don't think the same or certain things.
Exactly. And I
gotta give D, I gotta give you a lot of credit for being brave, because it could be challenging to have different thoughts in our community. When you think different, people, how our people can get. So so I appreciate that, man. Anything before y'all get over anything. Anything y'all want to promote before you guys? This is the thing we use this platform. Anything you guys want to promote? D, you go first. Anything you want to promote? Tell people about yourself. Anything like that?
I got a fish fry on November 6th. Come on down. I need a new roof on the community center. Come on down. I'm fry some fish.
What day is that? What day is that again? Sorry.
November 6th.
November 6th. Where at?
653 Skank Avenue. Come see me.
What kind of way they want to get in touch with you? Email, anything like that?
Oh yeah, you can email me at dmoore@cmo-nyc.com.
How do you spell your more though? See, that's the difference. You gotta spell that out.
Moore. That's MOORE, like the slave owner. DMOORE.
Wow.
Not the people more. I apologize for that.
Wow.
That's good. Yeah, it's good. Karan, how about yourself? Anything you want to tell the people?
Two things real quick. For all my people that live in New York City, make sure you go to your local community board meeting. Your local community board meetings are essentially where organizations, agencies, elected officials all go to inform the community. I already explained what the board is. You go to your community board meeting, get involved, join an organization, support an organization, support a fish fry, whatever you can do to essentially challenge and create the change that you wish to see. And second, I'm going to do a quick plug. I'm a runner. I'm a marathoner. I do a whole lot of running through the East and all of our communities. I'm a part of a team at Mid-Strike Magazine, which is a digital platform that was launched through the pandemic to essentially tell more of our stories of these everyday recreational runners that are Black and brown. When we think about Ahmaud Arbery, he was a local runner, just like we are, and he had a story to tell. And we want to make sure that we tell our stories because all these other platforms aren't doing it. And once again, I think the plug with that, we got a bunch of electoral coverage coming up in Mid-Strike Avenue magazine. So make sure you check it out. But once again, thank you to all of you brothers here at Let's Chop It Up, because I think this is another avenue where we get an opportunity to tell our stories. So I appreciate you all, and I look forward to catching up with you, Damien.
Yep. All right, brothers. Thank you for coming again. Appreciate you, brothers, man. Love you guys, man. All right, man. Be safe, brothers. Love y'all, man. Go mob, baby.
Go mob.
All right.
Yo.
That was good. Hold on. Wait. Hold on, man. Hold on. We got Christopher. Hold on for a second. Go ahead, bro. What you about to say?
No, I was just saying that, you know, this platform it goes to show you we pulled off one of the toughest things. We found a black person that was willing to come on here and say he voted for Trump.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean,
that's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. We had two courageous people last. We had Promise Batista and we had my man T. So we had chopping for the and we got Kelvin came back, man. I don't know, you know. Black people on internet, you know how we do. Kelvin didn't pay that bill. He had to go He had to go down to that check cashing spot and pay the internet bill real quick.
No, after your Trump guest, I had to go and just read something, just get myself back together.
Kelvin had to go to script. Kelvin had to read scripture. He had to go back.
I'll be. Well, first of all, what did you think? Well, no. First of all, let me apologize to you, D, for me thinking you cost us sponsors. Okay, so I want to say that. So I apologize for you. Very, very interesting. That's I think I may have handled it wrong, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Nah, you don't have to apologize for nothing, Kelvin. You know, the bottom line, everybody has the right to their view. Everybody has the right to their opinion. That's what this platform is about.
That's what
we're not gonna shun away from that stuff that we're afraid to talk about. Somebody's gonna come on here and they disagree with us. That's fine. Sit back. Sometimes you sit back, you let them talk.
Well, I have to admit, I didn't expect that. I expected somebody to really come with some salient points and stuff like that. Like he got my vote because he's stupid. Like I just didn't expect. Like just didn't.
If he like it's basically like the brother explained. He said, you know, this New York State vote is going to go. Your vote's going to go Democratic no matter what. So basically, he's burning a vote. He's just burning. A vote.
Well, no, I don't think that's the point, because we do that a lot. A lot of people have to do that. We know the Electoral College is messed up and it's antiquated. It should be. What I'm saying is, I would respect. I know some Trump supporters, and they're gonna stand their ground, and they're gonna tell you why. It's either the taxes or they're done with politicians and stuff like that. That was not a great representation to me. It just wasn't. I just thought, you know, we went all over the world about, you know, somebody playing basketball. I'd never seen that before in my life. And all this. Not.
But no,
Calvin, it was scrambled eggs. It was scrambled eggs.
You know what's messed up for me? It's Kelvin's wearing a goddamn Jets jersey, but that's another subject. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
touche, brother.
That's the law, bro. That's the law. We out here Long Island.
Moving on to the next segment, we got going on. You know, we want to talk about the challenges of dating, and today we have some more special guests. We have Brittany Holder coming on. Brittany, can we get Brittany out of the green room into the studio?
Hey,
all right, there she
go. Welcome.
I think she's on mute. Can we get her unmuted?
Unmuted. Sorry, I'm off.
Hey, Brittany, how you doing?
Hi guys, how you doing?
All right. I see. Are you still at work, Brittany?
No, I'm not still at work.
You look like you're at Foot Locker.
Okay, you know what? I got a little design doesn't mean I'm at Foot Locker.
You know, she had to coordinate. She coordinated her house.
Yeah, Brittany is one of my favorite people. Brittany knows why she's one of my favorite people too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I got a soft spot for Brittany.
And just so you know, you told the last guest that he was special. Sorry, sir. I'm a real special guest.
No, she's special because Brittany's my favorite niece. That's why she's so special.
Isn't she your only niece?
She is my only niece.
You got a grandniece. You got a grandniece.
I got a grandniece. I got a grandniece, and I got a grandnephew. I love them too. Okay. So we'll put Brittany. So thank you for coming, Brittany, for being on today. And then very well. And the thing is, you know, it's a new era. This is not a new era. This is challenges of dating. Like my niece, she's in her 30s now. Can I say that, Brittany?
Yeah, I tell people I'm in my 30s.
It's too late. Tell them, right? Good black. Hey, y'all. Good black. Don't cry. So and Brittany, so what are some of the challenges? Like now, to me, you guys are in the fuckboy generation, and the fuckboy generation kind of it's us. We kind of messed it up because we done training young lads after. So our pops gave us game and told us how to treat women. But then I think we got selfish. And so what are some of the challenges as a person of your age right now?
Well, let me get my list out because
whoa.
so many challenges. Where do I begin? First, let's start with the fact that I'll be fair. The men have so many options in our generation. And I know that there were still beautiful women when you guys were coming up and dating, but now it just seems like back then women might have held themselves to a higher standard. Now the women is throwing it out there for a bag and a shoe. So it's just so many options for men. That's number one. So if you have a higher list or you expect more, have higher expectations, they're not waiting around to get with you because it's like, sis over here has no expectations. I'm just go this way. Why would I wait? Yeah. Number two, these men think that they are the prize now. For some reason, they think that we are supposed to chase them and they no longer know how to date. I cannot tell you how many times a man has approached me, got my number, text and say, let's hang out. I want to take you on a date. And then they ask me, where do I want to go? And I'm just like, well, I didn't invite me to the date. So you should, figure this out. It's so many different things, but those would be the major things. And then in my age group, women of my age are now dating for, marriage because we are thinking about families and children if we don't already have them. And the men, my generation, they're not getting married at all. So I don't want to say it all, but a high number of people are not interested in marriage at all.
So hold up. Before we go to that, like Brittany's young, I got another special guest. Can we, producer Sammy Jammy, can you bring in Miss Monique Newkirk? Because we got the younger, and then we got Monique, who's not of our age yet, but she's right behind me.
Old?
No. Where's Monique? Can we get a picture? Is Monique camera not working?
Monique is up.
Monique camera not working?
No,
I can't see it. Maybe it's me.
I see a picture.
I can't see a picture.
Frozen, yeah.
She made me turn now.
Back in action.
Well, I got a question for Brittany.
Yes.
Brittany, let me ask you a question. You say that, men feel today that they want the woman to chase them, right? Do you feel like women have messed the game up for themselves? Like you said, by basically you're trying to keep a type of conservativeness. You want to be courted. You want to be dated out. You want to be treated right. And then you got Sarah down the block that's going to basically drop it like it's hot on the first date. That's what you're saying you're competing against?
Absolutely. That's exactly what you're competing against. And I have a lot of male friends that I'm just friendly with, and they openly tell you what girls will do for minimal things. So for them, it's like, if I can just get away with buying a girl a shoe and I don't have to deal with a relationship and all of that because she's here for one thing and I'm here for one thing, it works. So women like us are left alone and single because people don't want to put in the work, or men don't want to put in the work.
All right. Do you think a lot of women's standards are a little bit too high today?
Nope, and that's the problem. I've been told that my standards are too high, but I feel like Black women are always expected to lower their standards to get a man. And why do we have to do that? Men need to raise the bar and reach our standards. Like, we can't keep lowering our buck for you to be a part of our life. No, because the reality is we are more independent. We are more educated. So we don't need men. We want men. So to want a man, I need you to meet me at where I'm supposed to be. If I needed a man, maybe I would lower my standards, but I don't need you. I want you.
Oh, okay. So if the man doesn't meet like you, how many standards you got?
Well, that was my list. My standards list is a little bit longer. Let me get that.
So maybe the standards list is too long, Brittany. Is it too much?
I'm being facetious. My standards list is not that long. I feel like it's very acceptable. And there are men that meet it, but then you have to throw in attraction and everything else with that as well.
Brittany, what are some of the deal breakers?
Good question. I had this conversation with a good friend of Dee's recently. A deal breaker for me, Dee, close your ears. Mom, close your ears. Bad sex.
Damn it. Oh, God damn it.
Bad sex is a deal breaker. I do need a man that has a level of exposure or education. Family background is a deal breaker for me. And you have to make my salary or more. That's all.
Now expand on the family expound on the family background and then go to the salary thing.
I live in Baltimore, for those of you who don't know. So here you have crack. I was talking about the crack era a little earlier. It hit Baltimore hard. A lot of these men in Baltimore do not have mothers or fathers in their lives. You know, they were raised in the system. And that really affects how they deal with people in life. So for me, I've been there, done that, dated several people with that background. And I know that I need someone who matches my background, where I come from, a family-oriented background, because we just see things differently.
Got you. Now, as far as your salary is concerned, he needs to match your salary.
Match it. I never said that he had to completely be in some unrealistic realm of a salary, but I just feel like if we're not on an even playing field, we can't grow together. So I need you to at least be where I'm at when you come into the game.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you see do you believe that it's your responsibility as a woman in the relationship to match his salary as well? You know what I mean? Because you said as long as
there's double.
Men, you know, salary for men is just like, you know, it's nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, when you date a woman, it's like the salary is like kind of down.
Because you know what it is? Women, we offer beauty, right? We offer a lot of different things. Men, you could get in the game with money. You could be the ugliest man in the world. You got the right type of money, things gonna happen for you. So it's a little different to me.
Biggie said it best. I'm ugly. However, I stay Gucci down to the socks.
Brittany, now does that sound a little pretentious, a little superficial in that regard? I mean, so money seems to be the X factor, right? It'll compensate for certain things, because if it weighs that much, and I understand what I think is necessary is obviously that a person can hold their own, that they could be independent, and like you said, they could grow together. But what if the person just actually could be a teacher and not make what you make?
I'm not interested.
Wow. Let me
tell you why. There's two reasons. Number one, you have to throw ego in there. Ego's going to come up at some point. If your woman is making so much more than you, at some point that could affect some men. And it may be unconsciously, but I do think it can throw a wrench in the relationship to some extent. If I want to go on an elaborate vacation because my salary affords me to do this, but I want to do it with you, and you're like, well, I don't have that much money right now, that's an issue. You know what I mean? So it's more so of a lifestyle. If I decide that when we do get married, you know what, let me stay home for the first year and you continue to work, but if you're making $20,000 less than I made, you can't support our family. So that's where it comes into play. I need you to meet me where I am, because I've afforded myself a particular lifestyle, and I want to live that with a man as well. But I'm not footing the bill for that man, so therefore he needs to meet me on the same playing field.
I want to make sure Monique can chime in on this. Monique is my dear good friend, like a little sister to me. And Monique, you're a little older than Brittany. What are some of the challenges? They see most say, I made you seem good. You made a little older. I know your age, but I don't want to say. What are some of the challenges you see with a woman of your age with some of these guys out here now?
So some of the challenges are surprisingly, well, I'm 39. I'm not ashamed to say.
Oh, see, I didn't say it. See, good black don't crack. Good black don't crack.
I'm okay. It's a little intimidating, a little weird to like kind of date, because I still consider myself to be young. And some folks in my age group are already married and divorced. So that's a little weird for me, because I don't have any kids. I've never been married just yet. So that's like still a little weird for me. And I'm finding that a lot of I have a few non-negotiables, deal breakers, but I'm very flexible, very easygoing. A lot of men are really broken, and it's having like big impacts like on a relationship. Like after you peel the layers of the onion and like these people are like broken into pieces, it like can ruin a relationship. So that's one of the main things for me. People need to like take care of their mental health. I never even realized until I got to a certain age that men have mommy issues, daddy issues, outside issues, work issues, like all these self-esteem issues, and they have huge impacts on the relationship. So that's one of like the struggles for me.
Yeah. I want to say something about, go back to something Brittany said. Brittany said that basically, a man has to meet her criteria, and then certain things are deal breakers or whatever. Now, if you meet a man, because we want to look at this from two sides of the coin. If you meet a man that has all those requirements, because I remember a long, long time ago when I was young, and I was young, ambitious, had a good job, good career. The thing is, men have the ability to be able to pick and choose. So when they meet all those criterias, they may say, I don't have to come on to your ship. I don't have to board your ship because I can get onto any ship. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because the thing, it goes both ways. So the thing is, a guy can meet your criteria, but he may be him being in that position is still he has all the power. He's basically saying, hey, you know, I know I'm a commodity. I know I'm a catch. So the bottom line is that's the guy that is going to be not too faithful. He's going to be doing his thing.
The men could be sleeping on a mama couch and they still not going to be faithful. So
no, I'm talking about just the guy that meets your criteria. Like if he's got all this stuff going on, you got to realize that he's going to be able to have the pick of the litter. You know what I'm saying?
So should I be afraid of that? Or
no. I'm just saying it's from both ways. It goes both ways. So the thing is, if he meets all those criteria, he's got all those things going on. Men that have all those things going on, they know they have it going on. So they're going to be able to say, well, you know, I don't have to pick you. I can pick 15 things. And if you don't abide by my rules, I'm going to go on and go down to Sarah's house. You know what I mean?
But she did start by saying that one of her issues is that men have too many options. So that kind of
that's true. Not all men. Not all.
No matter where they lie on my list, all men have options because there are a lot of women, and I don't want to use the word desperate, but they are seeking relationships, they are seeking marriage, they are seeking family, so they're going to accept a lot. So all men have options regardless where you fall financially.
I agree with that. I think all men do have certain options, but I still always think there's levels to everything. Like if we're talking just about your level, like if that guy has all those criteria, that guy's going to be harder to bag to me. To me, I always, when I would look for a relationship,
I don't need to bag him. He needs.
I'm just making a statement, Brittany. I'm just making a statement.
But Brittany, I think what could happen though, you could potentially miss out on somebody that was great. I'll just share something. There was a gentleman I knew of who started, and he couldn't figure out what he wanted to do in college, and he wound up working at a mattress place selling beds, and his wife got with him. That same gentleman is one of the most successful attorneys in the history of the United States now, and is probably about $200,000 short of being a billionaire. They were in college. Billionaire, almost a billionaire.
I could have done that in my 20s. I agree. In your 20s, you are not as picky because you are still trying to figure out your life yourself. But as we know, women sometimes mature a little, and I won't say men that I know in my age haven't matured and figured out their careers, but I'm at a different part in my life. So when I was in my 20s, you could preach that story to me all day long. But I'm older now, and I'm at a particular part in my life where I want to start my life. Men are very notorious for not starting relationships until they have everything else in line. So if I'm meeting a man that's still trying to figure out what he wants to do, that's going to hold up where I am in life because I want to start a family. But you're saying, oh no, I want to get my career kicked off this 5-6 years down the line. Then you ready to start a relationship, and I'm old and dried up.
But see, Brittany, it sounds like you guys are more like opponents. Like this is us against them. That's what it sounds like. And I do commend you on your standard. One thing, it sounds like much like your uncle, nobody has to guess where you stand. And that's very, very good. That's noble, because I agree with you, because it's going to go the way you want it to go. I'm just saying, I can't tell you how many men I meet, even in New York, that tell me, oh, I wish I could be with Brittany. Oh, I wish I could be with Brittany. And they sitting there working at a gas station and they know they have no shot. So we have to.
One thing Brittany better never bring in this house again is a goddamn dude to have braids.
Shut up.
Motherfucking dude come my house with some goddamn braids. I'm going to send his ass back. Don't bring that motherfucker down.
Let me tell you, Kelvin and Rodney, that was a deal that I took my standard list and threw it in the trash and said, well, let me give it a shot. And it was the worst decision of my life. So, baby,
because it was the braids. Your uncle said the braids. You can't.
I will never do that again. So I learned from lowering my standards, and I'm not interested in doing that because I've tried that. If I could say yes, but I've been there. So,
but Brittany, at the same time, if he does make an inordinate amount of money, he still has to make sure that there are other things, that other checks and balances too. He's got to have integrity. He's got to be a good guy, right? And all those other things.
Y'all asked me for my absolute
deal breaker, the deal breaker, right?
Right, I got you. Deal breaker. I said it. Everybody, even the comments, oh, the money. No, all y'all heard was money. I said other stuff too. Now give me some credit here.
Hey, listen. So a guy with potential, or he's on his way up. That's not at your place at that time. So you're not willing to ride up.
What that potential looks like? Is he already in the pathway of his career?
Yeah, say basically he has to go through some courses. He's in the middle of schooling. You sit down, you go on a date with him. He's telling you, this is what I'm trying to get to. This is what my future looks like, and he's actually taking the course to get there. That's not.
Do you need a finished product?
It depends on what I would prefer the finished product, but
yeah, he's not talking. He's actually doing it. You meet him and he's doing it. He's on his way.
It depends. Again, what is on his way look like? Has he not gotten his foot in the door yet? Then that's too much growth. I'm not willing to sit through. If he's gotten his foot in the door, because my foot is in the door. I'm in education. I decided this career at 29. I did a complete career shift at 29, and I went back to school. I have my bachelor's. I'm going back for my master's. I'll be done that next year. So to me, I'm still building, yes, but I can't meet someone that's like, yeah, I'm still trying to get my bachelor's degree. We don't equally yoke. Not at 31. At 25, that makes sense. At 31, that doesn't make sense for my life anymore. And I think that's the problem why it works for some people, but after 30, relationships don't work if you're not equally yoked mentally, spiritually, financially. All that stuff is important. And we try to, even physically, you have to be equally yoked for stuff to work.
Yo, and listen, Monique, I see Monique down the head. Monique, you have anything to chime on, add on to that, Mo?
So, as far as finances, I don't need you to. It will be nice if you can match my salary.
Hey, Mo makes a lot of money, yo.
I was going to say, this is different. She's in New York, so her salary may look a little crazy.
Mo's a hustler. That girl hustler. You better have a hustle. You better be a man that can hustle.
I'll make it by any means, whether it's at work, after work, not like women of the night stuff, but like, little side hustles, however I can get it. You have to be willing to do the same thing as well. If you make like half my salary, it's just not going to work because we live in two different worlds. I think as long as you can take care of yourself, if we are living together and you can meet me halfway with the bills and still kind of court me throughout our relationship, I'm okay with that. I'm fine.
And listen, before I bring our next guest,
not that I don't have educational requirements, but so I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. You don't have to have that. There's a place in the world for everybody. Yeah. There are different jobs to make the world go round. So like I said, as long as you can sustain yourself, meet me halfway, and still kind of like take care of me and court me throughout our relationship, I'm okay with that.
Listen, before I bring our next guest in, Brittany, the dude you bring to my house better have no braids, no side teeth missing.
You saw other people on since then, and they did not look like that.
We have all made really bad decisions, and we're over.
I don't know what happened to that side tooth. Listen, you gotta have some kind of dental benefits. No, something.
Oh, I never my ass.
So we got these beautiful sisters on here now, but I want to bring a young man, a millennial. So I want to get a different perspective on the younger guys. Like Rod's out the game, D's out the game, Kelvin, he's single, but he like to mingle, and all that stuff I did for a long time ago, and I'm out the game. So I'm out the game. So our next guest is my young brother, Christopher. Christopher, can you come into the studio, Christopher?
I'm here, baby. I've been here for a while now.
All right. What's up, Christopher? How you doing today, young brother?
I'm doing good.
You look like you about to go on the town. You got you got shines in your mouth. Got your jewels.
You know I like gold, man. You know I like the gold, man. It's only on the weekend. Only when I step out.
And he got a leather coat on. So black man with a leather coat. He about doing something tonight.
Now you can call me Bruce Wayne, baby, because every time I step out, it's a dark night.
Okay, Christopher. Okay, I know you was listening in on some of the things. So
and this is why it's hard.
Wow.
So Chris, I want to get the young man's perspective. So what are some of the challenges for you? So you young, you single, you out there, you 30 years old and everything. So what do you see? What's the issues you find with some of the young ladies?
Hold on, Mr. D. While I was sitting here listening to you guys, I made a few notes on a few things that I just didn't agree with, and I was wondering if I could just jump on that real quick.
Break it down, Chris.
Go, Chris.
Okay, so Mr. D, you said this is the fuckboy generation. That generation has expired. This is now the who you fucking with generation, because there are fuckboys and fuckwomen out there. So what I'm saying is, when I say who you fucking with generation, it's like, for a guy and a girl, it's pick and choose. It depends on who you dealing with. what does she bring to the table? What does he bring to the table? How does she act around her friends? How does he act around his friends? Is she going to give it up to you for Birkin bags, for some Louis shoes? Is she going to give it up to you because you got a nice crib for a nice car? Or is she going to give it up to you because she wants to see what type of person you are and you got to work for it? Actually make you work for it. Not just you have to have this type of amount of money or come off as rich or well paid on social media. So I say it's the fucking with generation. This is no longer just on the guys. Women are doing fuck action. Just look at the music that's out there. City girls are promoting a whole lot of activity.
Now remember, city girls are very young now. They're
okay.
They're young.
Meg, Cardi, look at the music sets the tone. Mr. D, you once told me that you told me that the music set the tone. If you look at the riots, right, the Rodney King riots. What song was playing during that time?
Yeah, all the songs that Fight the Power, all the kind of stuff like that.
Look at this ain't Sam Cooke or Marvin Gaye time. It ain't no longer about love. The women are saying, nigga, what you gonna do for you? What are you going to like? Buy me this, buy me that. Oh, he better give me head, this and that. So now the women are taking that in front of it, and now we have to combat that.
Any sponsors? These are not words coming out of our mouth. We have no control of the
Hold on. And then Brittany said, hello, Brittany. It's been a while. I haven't seen you so long. I'm all right. Last time I said you, I was just a boy.
No flirting with my niece on this damn screen, son.
No, it's all up. Brittany said that men don't chase women anymore. I disagree with that. I think men still do chase women. The chase just looks different. What is the chase like now? As far as what do they post on social media? How much money does he have? Is he buying? How many bottles is he buying in the club? Does he have a section? Men don't do this for no reason. We ain't doing this for each other. Well,
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that. A lot of them do it for.
Hold on.
They be in the section drinking a bottle with just nothing but dudes. I don't understand that. I don't get that. I don't get that.
I mean, if you see a guy in a section buying the bottles with a bunch of dudes, then he don't got no ladies on his line because that can never be your boy. You know, like Mr. D, you know how I roll. What I'm saying is they do that.
Dark night.
No. All the sponsors, I do not know how this man roll.
Okay. No sponsors. All right. Well, I'm saying they doing that to attract women. When you buy, let's get a section or to get the bottles and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some guys that's like, when we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna do it big. So there are some guys that's doing it like that. But there's most of the times when guys get a section in the club or something like that, it's always like, yo, come on, you know the honey's gonna be looking. Yo, the honey's gonna slide on over. So the chase is still happening. It just looks very different.
Can I chime in? This again.
Go ahead, Monique.
Chivalry has turned into buying bottles in a section. Are you kidding?
Yes. Yes.
So, and I think that also depends on the caliber of
woman that you're chasing.
Yeah. That's what I said. There's levels. There's levels to different things, and the thing is, let me ask you a question. This question is for Monique. Monique, do you think social media has hurt dating, or you think it's helped?
Both. So I think it helped because you have a wider platform to meet people.
Okay.
And I think that it hurt because it's not social media. It's the people. The people don't have self-control.
Okay. Because the thing is, too, I was talking to somebody that's, younger than us, and he told me that he broke up with his girlfriend via social media. Where back in my days,
they were not in a relationship if they broke up via social media.
No, they were in a relationship. But the thing is, it goes to show you the tackiness of the way things are being done now. You know what I'm saying? To break up with somebody over social media is tasteless. You know what I'm saying? But that's the new world that we're in. You know what I mean? So that's why I asked you, did it help or did it hurt? Because to me, that's not a man. A man is going to break up with somebody you break up to with a face or whatever you talk to.
And to me, that's not even a relationship. Like you're breaking up with me via social media. You're not going to call me, text me, person, have a conversation. That's not even a real relationship.
Yeah, well, they were in a relationship. The relationship was like over a year and some change.
Oh, wow.
And that's another thing. The point that you two are making is that people don't really believe in relationships or know what monogamy is in my generation.
Correct.
So
I agree.
Once all the monogamous things that come, all the things that come with monogamy, but they will never put the title on it, right? Because then it limits them from other women. So you have a lot of women who are doing girlfriend things and in relationships with themselves because the men they are with are not in relationships with them.
Yeah.
All right.
I think also men don't sometimes put the title on because it comes with a sense of responsibility and accountability. if we are now boyfriend and girlfriend, if I'm now claiming you as my woman, and then you go out there and make me look a fool, I have to own up to that. I have to claim that. That's fault on my part. If I didn't read you right and I found out about who you really was too late into us dating or dealing with each other, and you start to show your true colors later on, then that's on me. That all falls on me. So sometimes guys don't want to jump the gun and saying, yeah, that's my girl. Nah, we're gonna treat it like a job. You gotta work for this. You don't go to a job and be like, yo, when I'm gonna get a promotion. They tell you when you get promoted. When you earn it, when you work for it, that's when you get promoted.
Remember when I said men think they the prize now? That's it right there.
She's right. Chris, I want to ask you this question. Do you agree with what Brittany had said earlier? Men have a lot of options. That's why they can do that.
Women have a lot of options. So I don't, it goes both ways.
I don't know about that with women having a lot of options, but these dudes are fucked up.
Yeah, it's you honestly, I've been in the dating game, I would say, since I was about 25.
Hey, watch it.
Finished my relationship. No, since I would say my adult dating game. Since about 25, and the dating pool is slim. I have beautiful friends who are, bring a lot to the table, and for them as well, the dating pool is slim, and they live in New York, they live in Baltimore, they live in different places. So the dating pool is very slim, honestly.
Brittany, it doesn't exist. I've been out here for 11 months, and I quit. It's like I quit.
You know what the problem? You know what y'all doing wrong? Y'all have never been to the Miss Black Awareness pageant. Now that's where you find good women, clean women. That's.
And so I think this is kind of a stretch, but another thing that I noticed is that a lot of males are now like raising themselves. So Brittany, myself, and Chris, we are all connected to Damon. Damon definitely influences Chris. He influences me. Brittany is his niece, and so he gives her like a lot. So think about it. Fathers, uncles, grandfathers, they are kind of extinct. They don't exist anymore, really. And so these men are kind of like raising themselves. Like I said, they are broken. Unfortunately, some reasons are their fault, some aren't, but they're kind of like broken. They're raising themselves. So I think a lot of them don't even know that they have common sense, but a lot of them don't know that they're doing like the wrong thing and that they're not approaching them in the right way.
Miss Monique, when you say, first off, how you doing? Because I haven't seen you in a while.
Monique, Chris.
Yo, disrespect. Don't do that, buddy. Don't do that, buddy.
Don't put the age on there. Put me this in front of
it. Okay, it feels weird saying it, but okay, Monique. I don't like it. Monique. Let me ask you something, because you said that twice. You saying like there's a lot of men out here that are broken. Would you agree with me when I say there are women out here that are broken as well, but not tied to family issues, more tied to their past relationships?
Absolutely.
So much to the point that they want to prove to them why they should let you be in their life, because and they want to see if you're gonna get the one up on the guy they just deal with. Meaning you got to be better than him. Why do I gotta go hide in somebody I never met? I ain't do that to you. I ain't hurt you. So why do I gotta fix that bridge? Why do I gotta fix the pain and work that he put in?
So
why is it's just so many ladders that a guy gotta keep climbing?
Yeah. So in my experience, I'm not looking for you to one up, or maybe I should be looking for you to a few up in my experience, but I know the mistakes that I've made, and I'm not going to repeat those mistakes. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be a one up or a one down. I just know what I'm going to accept and what I'm not going to accept. And when I said, like you said, I said twice that men are broken, and I emphasize on that a lot because in the black community, men are kind of like taught to suppress their feelings. If like only girls can unfortunately express their feelings, and males go through things as well. And so that's kind of been what we've been going through, like as a people. And now it's coming out like, take care of yourself, support your mental health. It's okay to cry. It's okay to get help. It's okay to talk to someone. So we're normalizing that stuff now, but we're still dealing with the guys who weren't allowed to do that stuff. So it's hard.
So my question to everyone is, where's the love part of this? Is everybody just dating?
Yeah, nobody said nothing about love.
Anybody about anything but love?
What? Love?
Mr. D, it's so interesting you say this, and it scares me to say. It ain't no love, man. And when you ask about like how's the dating like for me, it's literally like playing dice. I'm hoping to get a 4, 5, 6, but most days it's a 1, 2, 3.
What you know about Philo?
What you know about Philo? Listen, Chris, CeeLo's are all New York. That's a New York dice game. So everybody outside of New York, 1, 2, 3 is a loss. 4, 5, 6 is automatic win.
So Chris, how old are you, Chris?
I'm 30.
Okay, so you two are both 30 years old, and both say that it's not even about love anymore. What's coming behind you guys? Like, what's coming? What's the 20-year-old thinking? Like, shoot each other? Like, where are we at now? Man, I do agree with Chris. There used to be love in the music. Like, do men love and adore women anymore? That's the thing. And I get your point, Chris. Chris feels it needs to be reciprocated. It looks like, because it's still, you know what I'm saying. And I have to say, we must owe you an apology because it's not your fault. It's the generation that raised this generation's fault. That's where the problem was. Because realistically, you shouldn't have inherited this. And I always believe that right now you two should not have to be opponents. Years ago, a man used to have to go, and this is even before our generation, would have to go to a young lady's parents or her house and ask her out or show up. Now, 10 women go out, 10 dudes go out, and the guys go out and they're on the prowl and this, that, and the third, and women. So the guy is trying to bargain for sex, the woman's trying to bargain for money or position. And I think that's just, somewhere along the line, I don't think that we're taught affection anymore. You know what I mean? I think
100%. 100%. I agree.
How much this is the changing roles of like men and women as well. You know what I'm saying? Because you have women, that you have wage, gaps being closed, and women making more money, being more educated and everything, and it's a push towards that. You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of wondering how much of that factors into it as well. You know what I mean? So
that factors in a lot, and I mentioned it earlier. No woman, I feel, in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s, you needed, when Reconstruction was happening, slavery, people were moving from the north to the south. Women needed men because we couldn't get jobs, like you said.
Yeah.
It was a different era back then. We, Black women, are the most educated subset of people, right? With that comes the higher increase in independency because we are getting the same jobs that men are competing for and getting those same salaries and fighting for wage increases and things like that. So we no longer need men, but we absolutely want them. And I think when men start to understand that, then affection will play a role in it because I don't need you.
But Brittany, will you acknowledge that we live in a society that does not ingratiate Black men? So the opportunity for Black men in corporate America and certain things that may be extended to you all are not extended to men. Will you at least acknowledge that he may not have the same, he may have the credentials, but may not have that door open. They feel that they'll rather, white males always have had a use for Black women. They don't have a use for Black men. And they used to have it for labor and that was it.
Because what? No. I think as a Black woman who worked in corporate America, who's worked in the corporate side of retail, and now I'm in the school system, so it's a little different. No, I think Black males still get better opportunities in some instances than Black women. We have to do 10 times more than the Black. We have to do 20 times more than the white male and the white female.
I think Black women are more successful than Black men across the board.
I agree.
Man, I don't think that's just for work ethic. I don't think it's just work ethic. I think I'm sorry.
No, it's also for optics because the Black woman meets two minority quotas. They're Black and they're a female. So you have an advantage, correct, through affirmative action. So Brittany, you'll be able to get a job quicker than me in the corporate world because you fill 2 quotas. And that's what I see too. You're Black and you're a female. So when they hire you, and another thing too, they look at me and they say, yo, this guy's more timid, he's 6 and change and whatever. I'm going to have problems with him. You're not going to give me so many problems.
Exactly.
And that's what I see.
So he winds up having to hustle and stealing my Red Bull machine. And that's what happens.
I got a that's how we get Red Bull machine thieves right there.
I got a controversial question for the ladies. Do you feel that the dating
wrap it up?
Okay. Do you guys feel that the dating pool is small because you're trying to stay in your race?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Because the thing is, we know that, it's hard to date in your race, and then it's probably harder even to date out of your race.
Yeah, and statistically, we know that there's more Black women out here than
Black men. Correct.
So I think it's something like 8 to 1. It's really ridiculous, actually. So the pool is a lot smaller because of that alone. There's just not a lot of them out there. So
Yes, I agree. But I'm gonna stay here and fight it out because I love the black man. I need the black man. I want the black man, and I'm not leaving. And I cannot bring someone other than the black man home to my uncle.
There you go.
That's right. I can't either because this man right here going to give him the business.
Oh yeah. You don't do that with D. He don't play that foolishness.
She can't get. It's not me. She gotta get past. She gotta get past.
It's my mother.
Her mother made me like that. My sister told me. My mother, my sister, and my father scared me to death. I went to Richmond Hill. There's only like 7 black people. If I'd have brought one of them women, oh Lord, she can't cook. She couldn't cook no collard greens. Got no seasoning or something. Man, I'd have been in trouble.
So all you black men on here who have a few years over me, I'm kind of holding you responsible. Help the younger black men get it together because
they don't listen. They don't listen. They don't listen.
Now, Chris listen and he don't listen. So I've been trying to school him for a long time. You know, he out here in these streets. He in these streets right now. You see his backgroround. You know, he's
He's ready for the night. Okay.
He got a red cup. It's only 9 o'clock. He already got the red coat.
He's in the bottle section right now.
right now. He's in the bottle.
Can I come in your section? Can I come in your section?
You better let Monique in your section. You
already know you put in my section, man.
You need to see the sparkles right now. That's what we need. Some Chris. Put the sparkles.
The bottle girl.
Nah,
you know,
Mrs. D, I listen to you, but like you said, sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. I listen to you, but some things you really do have to experience for yourself. You have to find out for yourself because then I know how to move. Then I know why you said this. Now I know. Oh wow, you wasn't tripping. So it's just like I got it because, and then I know it's just gonna trickle down. When I tell somebody, they're not gonna listen to me. They gotta learn it for themselves, and that's all right.
Yeah,
because experience is the best teacher. So
that's true. It's nothing new under the sun. It's just the way we do it now because we have social media and stuff like that. And you know, and it's not like I said, it's nothing new under the sun. But I want to thank you all for coming. Oh, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
No, I was just about to, the last thing I was about to say is like the one thing that I wish this generation could do. I wish this generation wouldn't be afraid to be like being vulnerable, being open. Like if you feeling somebody, say you feeling them. If you want this person to yourself, say you want that person to yourself. Right now, it's all about I don't want to look like a sucker, making assumptions. He talking to this, he talking to this person, she talking to that person. It's like, can we just find a middle ground where we can actually say what we want, what we expect, and can we bring it to each other? Instead, everybody want to just keep pretending until the movie is over. Like it's right now, it all seems like a game. And we all playing, and it's like you said, Kelvin. It's
big reality show.
Black men and black women are at odds with each other, because that's what it really feels like. It feels like.
Monique said it best. A lot of us need healing. We are still dealing with childhood issues that we're bringing into adult situations. So a lot of us need to heal. I think that.
The first time ever, Chris, you done learned me something. Being vulnerable is very hard. I'm gonna try it, but you just have to put yourself out there. It may work, it may not work. Then you gotta pick your 39-year-old self back off the floor. And go back. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard.
It is. I'm
gonna give it a try just for you, Chris.
Listen, I want to thank you all for coming on today. Christopher, thank you for being very brave. Monique, Brittany, and Brittany, I swear to God, I do but not come in no cornrows, nothing. You know, and I feel bad for all my sisters in their 30s that got this, that's making all this money and can't find no good dudes. A lot of good dudes out there. My sister Essence, I see her chiming in. She's a good sister. Like, it's hard for him. So I really hope they all find some love. And Chris, I hope you find love, man.
So much money. You making
Thank you. I hope I find it too.
I pay Monique too much money because Mo can't find no dudes on that level. You know what I'm saying? Monique's halfway point is a struggle for a lot of it. You better be like Jigga said, one of them 6 figures. I ain't gonna say the word N-word on it. You know what I mean? So you gotta, I'm not gonna do that, John. But I thank you all for coming on, man.
Thank you so much.
First of all, anybody got anything to promote? Monique, I know you get jewelry, tell them everything, and we can find you and everything.
I have 2 things to promote. I have a small business. That's another hustle. I have a small business. I sell brooches, berets, bow ties, and other accessories. The website is iloveb3.com. The Instagram page is shop.b3. I also work in community. I work in social services. I work in East New York, just like the 2 brothers who were on the earlier segment. We are having a healthy Halloween trick-or-treat food pantry on Thursday, October 29th at 127 Pennsylvania Avenue. We're going to have some really good groceries to give away to the community. I would never give anybody anything that I wouldn't take home myself. So come on out. We're going to have some good treats and candy and toys and clothes and stuff for the kids. So that's 127 Pennsylvania Avenue, corner of Liberty at the NYPD Community Center.
Brittany, anything you want to talk about your show? Anything you want to promote?
My show is on pause right now because I'm back in school. So, for beginning of the school year, virtual is crazy. But PD in January, I'm gonna come back to the show, and then I'm gonna have that show to promote for you and some other great things that I'm working on.
Cool.
Give your page, Brittany.
Oh, your
my
page, Instagram page.
Only on Instagram. I'm at its_just_Brit BRIT1T.
Christopher, so I know you're doing your music thing and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I'm not. The only reason why I'm not gonna promote that because I'm working on a new project called Confessions of a Sucker, written by a lover, but that's not gonna be done probably until like the middle of November at best. So I can't even give a date on it. But I will promote what I always promote, which is peace and love, and I'm strong on that because there's a lot of people that's not experiencing peace. There's a lot of people that aren't experiencing love or don't know what love looks like. So when you share that, then give them a glimpse of it so they can feel it and so they can know how to give it to others. So peace and love always.
That's what's up. I love you. I love you, brother. I love you both. I love you three, rather. I love you, brother. So, all right, be safe. Have a good night. All right.
Thank you.
All right, y'all.
Chris, listen. One thing I want to tell Chris. Oh, damn. Chris is still there. One thing I want to tell you. The bottles in the strip clubs are the mating call. So when you pop that bottle, all the birds come flying.
Yeah. That's when they all come out. That's what I'm saying. It's the bat signal. It's the bat signal.
The bat signal. All right, young brother. Be safe tonight, man. Have a good time.
All right, brother. Thank you. I will.
All right, stay up, young blood. Stay up.
Good. Man, this was a good show, man. Some good topics. I mean, the comments. Sorry, but I could not follow the comments. It was just something popping too fast. I couldn't get to all the comments, man. I was trying to, but the conversation was flowing, man. So I appreciate everybody, even in the comments. That was really dope. Tell everyone to please like and subscribe to us. We want to keep this platform going on. And anybody want to sponsor any of our friends, please hit me up. You can email me at Demond Pearson, DEMOND PEARSON. If you want to sponsor your stuff, and anybody else, guys, can tell them where they can find you at too. On Instagram as DPearson14 on Instagram.
Well, I missed the daily routine on Instagram.
And the shirt. People liking the shirt. It was liking my shirt, so I get the shirt. Rod, tell them we can find the shirt at.
If they want a shirt, Black is Dope, just go on Instagram, Real Life 68 brand. REALLIFE brand.
I'm not on Facebook. I'm on phone book. If you have my number, just call me. And if you see anybody with a Red Bull machine, also call 911. Thank you so much.
Yo, that's so classic. If I see somebody with a Red Bull machine, I don't even think I'm going to stop. I'm just laugh, man. If I see that Red Bull machine going there. Derik.
And as always, we love you, brothers.
I love you, brothers. Derik.
Love you, brothers.
All right, listen. So any topic, please hit us up. Tell us what topics you want to talk about. We love chopping it up about anything, any kind of topic. We love to have you use a special guest yourself. So I love you, brothers. I'll see you next week, man. Peace and love. All right, guys? And stay black.
Out.
Peace, y'all. Be good.
Peace.